Thank you so much for joining. Alice, I'm excited to have you today.
I'm so excited to be here. So honored as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Joanne, for giving us all the feedback. So we're actually figuring this out. And as you can tell, I'm a StreamYard virgin. So today is my first time to actually use my account. I think I've probably had my account for like 4 months and I've been meaning to use it. And then yesterday I was like, oh, I'm going to ask Alice to do a Facebook Live with me. And so we're going to use it, even though I haven't yet figured out how to do this in the way that I should. I was lowering my chair. That's why you saw me bounce. Yeah. So Alice, John says hi, Alice, and this is really cool.
Hi. Hi. I don't know. I can't see the.
Yeah, well, we'll figure this out. The next time we do this with experts, we'll know, and I'll tell you what's actually happening. So part of the reason why I wanted us to have this conversation, number one, is because you and I have been working together for how long now?
I would say about 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years.
2.5 years. So guys, I just wanted you to know that, remember when I had the wild idea to come to Kenya with Trinity Stokes, Disney star Trinity Stokes, and I was looking for someone to help me execute that idea. Alice was the person who I called on, and it turned out to be the best idea I ever got, because part of the reason why we were able to execute on that project to, number one, we had named Trinity Stokes, who's a Disney star, on Casey Undercover, and she's also playing on Mixed-ish. And she's our global goodwill ambassador for Read Across Africa. And I thought, yeah, if it's time to send her to Kenya to find out what it is that happens in Kenya, what Kenya is all about, what literacy in Kenya is all about, I had to find somebody who was going to do this with me. And I found Alice. So loves your smile, Alice.
Thank you. So that was so much fun.
It really was a lot of fun, and it was the first time you and I were doing something that big. We had a limited budget, and we were able to pull it off.
It was a favored project because everything we needed we got.
Yes.
It was a big project. We were scared out of our minds about it. But one of the things, I think I was more scared than you are, because you're such a go-getter. You're like, then we're going to do this. And I'm like, well, but where is the money going to come from? And then you're saying, don't worry, it's going to happen. And it's one of those things that when you're operating in your, because for me, I believed at that time, and why I connected with you is when you're operating in your God-given talent, the resources and everything that you need will come to you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened to us. We were so favored.
Yeah. And then I think the coolest thing that came out of it to me, for you, was Trinity's mom has played manager to Trinity for the longest time. And we were really nervous because she has some specific things she wants for her daughter. And she definitely wants to make sure that her daughter always gets the best. And I remember her when we were sitting at the Tribe Hotel, and she said to you, Alice, do you know a lot of people get paid a lot of money to do what you did for us in Hollywood?
I remember that. And I was like, what? I'm just doing what, for me, this was a 13-year-old girl coming to Kenya for the first time.
Yeah.
And the brief from you was very simple. Make her feel at home. Make her fall in love with Kenya. And I took that and we ran with it. We wanted to make sure that her experience from when she left the plane to the time she got back into the plane was an experience to remember. Unlike the how people think about experiences of travel to Africa or even to Kenya specifically. And then there was the brief of specifics. This little girl at 13, she's a vegetarian. So I started having to learn vegetarian sports in Kenya because I'm not a vegetarian myself. So I had to learn for the first time the vegetarian sports in Kenya, and make sure that she gets what she needs. And then this girl was also doing homeschooling in the evening. So we needed to make sure that the hotel that she was going to be in. She was able to attend her classes after her day long. She's an amazing child, because I was pooped at the end of the day, but she was going to class. So so it was such an amazing experience.
I know.
Yes, and for us, for both of us, just bringing them to Kenya, we wanted, because we were a whole team of people who were working. There was Leah, myself, there was Anna, and we just wanted to make sure that when she comes, whatever she experiences in Kenya, it's something she'll never forget. And I think we succeeded in that, because we gave her a Kenyan name, or rather, she chose her own Kenyan name. She calls herself Kenyan. If you go to her Instagram handle, she has the Kenyan flag on there. So that for me was a win.
Yeah. And guys, those of you who are just joining, today I decided that I was going to interview Alice Wandighi, and she goes by Coach Wandighi. And I'll tell you the story behind that. But we were just talking about how Alice and I connected. I've known Alice for years and years and years. And she's my sister's friend. And I was looking for an assistant and someone who would support me in executing a big project for Read Across Africa. And I thought about her and called her, and I recognized that she was the absolute right person for the job. And we just did an amazing, we had an amazing experience with Trinity Stokes, who is the Read Across Africa Global Goodwill Ambassador. And we were able to make Trinity feel at home. And Trinity is 100% Kenyan if you ask her now, because she connected so well with Kenya as a result of the work that Alice did. So Alice has been my person. When I go to Kenya, I'm frequently lost. As most of you know, I've lived in America for 30 years. And so in the 30 years, what has happened is I don't know anything, and I call Alice for everything. I'm like, where can I find flowers? Where can I find food? Where can I find sugar? Where can I find? So Alice is my go-to person for that. And I tell you, the number one thing I'm going to say is that if you want to be successful, find a team that supports you in the way that you need. And I think for me, and I'm going to say this in front of everybody, is I like how pure your heart is.
Oh, really, don't make me cry. It's my first life. I need to behave myself. Yeah. Thank you, Jean. It's an honor. It's a privilege. And purity begets purity. So it's easy for me to work with you. Very easy.
Oh, yeah. That is really cool. So let's move on from the love fest. As you guys know, we love each other.
We love each other.
We love each other. So what we're gonna do is really talk about what brought us here today. 2020 was a difficult year for many, many people, right? And when I went to Kenya in November, I recognized what had happened to many people in Kenya. Simply because I think, I'm not saying that, it was easier in the US. Alice, move, yeah.
I'm moving.
No.
Okay. Forgive me, all. I'm learning.
So when I went to Kenya in 2020, I noticed that a lot of people had experienced some really challenging times. But I don't think I absolutely grasped how challenging it was for people who are even coaches, people who have done the work, people who who are a part of my circle, who have read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, who have been in my class, and that happened to be you. And so in November, we talked a lot, but I didn't fully grasp how much you were feeling like you were struggling. I just didn't get it. And I think also one other thing is I didn't have time. Good morning, Pauline. Good morning, Purity. Good morning, Terry, Fran, Wangui, Beatrice. I see all of you. Thank you for joining. And I see there's a whole bunch of people. And I think today we have, everybody's looking at you. They're usually here for me, but then we have a lot of people.
I put on lipstick for you. Yeah. For everybody, because my coach said you have to show up. So I'm show up.
So again, I went back to Kenya. I was in Kenya in November, and then I went back to Kenya in January. And Alice and I were planning, Alice and I have this wild idea to work with Lisa Nichols in Kenya. So whenever I'm in Kenya, that's all we talk about. That's all we plan for. We're finding partners and doing that so that we can execute on this vision. And we believe that it is coming. It is just, this idea is pregnant and it is coming. But we were driving out of a shopping plaza, and Alice said something to me that gave me pause. Someone called her phone, and I'm going to out Alice, but I'll out her not all the way crazy. Someone called Alice's phone, and she said, they're calling me because I owe them money, right? And I'm not going to tell them who it was. But they're calling me because I owe them money. And I was like, you have a debt? Okay. And so I made a note of that, because I'm just like, how is this fabulous person in a position where I believe that you are so great and you were having a cash flow problem at the time? And we're going to have real talk on this Facebook Live this morning. Part of the reason why I want to have real talk is because a lot of people are in this space where you are so talented, and from time to time you find yourself in a situation where you are just operating on fumes, and you're just trying to figure out and say, this is not my life. This is not my life. Why am I in a position where I am not, my cash flow is just not where it's supposed to be? So when Alice said that, I was like, a note to self. And we carried on doing what we were doing, because I knew I had a meeting with her the next day at 8 a.m. at the Hub in Karen.
The Art Cafe, famous.
Yeah. We were meeting at the Art Cafe in Karen the next day. And so Alice and I met with the person who was coming in, and we had a phenomenal meeting. And then I had a break because I needed to go to town at 2 p.m. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So I said, okay, we'll stay here and work. And so I confronted Alice, and I said, Alice, why did you not have money? And what did you say?
So we are being very honest, right?
Yeah.
So I said to Jean, I said to you, I don't know. And it was troubling, because it's so hard to just come out with that statement of, somebody has called my number. For a second, I actually regretted saying it out loud when we were on holiday, and because it came back, it's like it did a full circle to come back and bite me, because you're asking me about something that happened 3-4 days before that day. So I said to you, I don't know why I don't have money. Then the next statement I think I made to you is, you know what? I need another job to supplement what it is that I have, so that I can be able to cover the cost of my living. The debt that we are referring to is a debt that is an everyday debt for everybody. This is not something, it's not a piece of debt that was from an extravagance. It was not a piece of debt that was from something that I didn't need. It was a debt that is needed to be fulfilled every so often.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when we were having this conversation, Alice was like, I don't know. And she kept saying, I don't know. And I could see in her eyes that it was deeper than just, I don't know. Were you embarrassed?
I was embarrassed, one, and then I was scared too, because I was looking at a future of having this recurrent debt, pulling all strings, being a single girl in Nairobi, trying to get by. And Nairobi, maybe people don't know about it, but Nairobi, even for you, you always say Nairobi is so expensive.
It is.
It's a very expensive city.
It is.
So it was an embarrassing admission. But that's what happens when you're with your coach, because your coach asks you directly, and you can't. What I wanted to do was leave you at that restaurant and come home and take a nap.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah. So basically, our conversation was putting you to sleep.
Yes, because it's stress. When I'm stressed out, my defense mechanism is I need to sleep, because I can't face the world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we started talking about what could you do to not be in that situation.
Yes.
And for me, I believe seriously, there's one thing that I always say is what's in your hand. And that's what God asked Moses. What's in your hand? And that's how you know what your gift is. What is in your hand? Just ask yourself today, what is in your hand? And you'll have the answer to all your problems. Because the question that I was asking is, what do you have to nurture? And so one of the biggest challenges that I've had with you, Alice, in full transparency, is I've always given you grief about the fact that you are a certified coach.
Correct.
You paid money and certified to be a coach.
Yes, I did.
And I always asked, where are the clients?
So we backtrack back to the fact that you've been coaching me for at least over a year now. I was in one of your classes. I made amazing networks in that class. We went through the process of just trying to bring out the best in us. Yeah. And I think one of the things that we don't recognize, even whatever class that it would be that you go for, is that it has action points. And if you're lazy with the action points, you get stuck. So for a long time, you kept telling me, because one of my definite desires is that I wanted to be a coach. And I knew that I wanted to be a coach. It was in me. I've been doing it for a long time before even I was certified. And you had been pulling it out of me, but then I got stuck. Why? One of the things that I did is I did a lot of coaching, even in 2020, with young people, but it was a pro bono service.
You said, let's just call it what it is. It was free. Don't give it a fancy name. It was free.
But if we say pro bono, it makes
it was free.
Fine. It was a free
service. Say to us, we have to figure out a way to move from free to fee. Remember that?
Yes.
You have to figure out a way to move from free to fee. There comes a time when people should pay for services. I'm laughing so much. Alice, let me tell you why I'm laughing. Because Purity says, everybody's commenting on your beautiful teeth.
Oh, thank you. Let's smile some more. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Purity says she can't get over Alice's beautiful teeth. And then Joanne had commented on your beautiful smile. So you need to keep smiling.
I need to keep smiling. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you.
So you were coaching, but you were giving away your gift.
Yes, and what I realized is, for me, I did it a lot in 2020 because of the situation that was going around the world. So I got a lot of people calling me. I would spend hours on the phone coaching people. I'd do Zoom calls with people. People would set up Zoom calls and invite me, and I'd get on those calls. But all of that was a free service. And then I realized when I was talking to you in January of 2021 that I'd been doing it even beyond 2020. I'd been doing it in 2029, and I continuous. It came second nature to me, to the point I started resenting it. I don't know if that makes sense. I started I would get calls sometimes, and I'd think about it, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be time spent. It won't bring any money.
Yeah.
But I love to do it.
Yeah.
So I said, because I love to do it, and especially the niche that I love to work with, I said, they don't have any money. They can't pay me. It's fine. We need a better world for tomorrow. The world we live in is already messed up. So those are the things that were going through my mind at the time.
Who do you want to coach? Who are you coaching now?
So I've had, for a long time, the people who are attracted to, or rather from the time I was even certified, and before that, before I was even certified, I once started a little club called Mentoring the Next Generation.
Yes.
that meant is I used to sit down with young people. I'd find myself in spaces with teenagers. Everyone who calls me Auntie Alice, they come and confess to me things. They talk to me about stuff. I find myself just mentoring and speaking to them, speaking into their lives, so to speak. So now that I realize it, my calling is with the young people.
Right. And you believed that the young people didn't have money to pay you, right? That was a core belief of yours. And this is what Purity said. Free things drain your energy. And that's why you presented your gift.
They really do. Especially when it runs over its due, in terms of, even if I did it the first 2 times out of the purity of my heart, by the 4th, 5th time, I'm exhausted. I don't recognize I'm exhausted, and some certain other things in my life are failing simply because I'm giving my energy to something that I should be getting something in return. So yes, you're correct.
Right. And Joanne says young people have parents with money.
So I discovered, let me tell you a story. Our conversation at Art Cafe on that fateful day in January 2021. One of the things I love about you, Jean, is the follow-up, the conversation. You are working, you are on your laptop, being busy. We were booking meetings for our other project that is coming up. But at the top of it, you just kept looking at me and saying, what's in your hand? What's in your hand? That question went on and on to the point I started crying. Guys, she made me cry. I was crying in the middle of Art Cafe, wondering about my street cred, because people know me around these streets. So I was crying because I was frustrated. Jane, I don't know. Stop asking me. I have no idea what's in my hand. Right now, it's a spoon. I don't know. That, from the tears, I think the tears were a breakthrough, because you just, and what she said to me, you said to me, good, keep crying. That's good. Just cry. Go on, cry. I'm like, she has no mercy.
I had no mercy.
I was like, I need a hug. I need you to tell me it's going to be okay. And I need you to tell me manna is going to fall from heaven and you're going to get a bunch of money to sort out your problems. But she said, cry. Are you done crying? What's in your hand?
So guess where that from? So in Lisa Nichols' class, when you go to a Lisa Nichols event, it's very kind, it's very warm, she hugs, she does all this stuff. But when you get into the classroom, when she puts you on the spot and she's asking you a question, she always said, don't touch her, because the natural reaction for the person who would be around her is to hug you. And she would be like, do not touch her, do not touch her. She paid me a lot of money, do not touch her. Because that's where your breakthrough comes from.
That's amazing. I even think one of the waitresses was gunning to come and hug me, and she looked at your face and she's like, I don't think this is a hugging situation.
It was not a hugging situation.
But yes, that's true. There was a definite breakthrough in the tears. They were painful tears. They were frustrated tears. They were embarrassed tears. But out of it, when you ask me again in the middle of the tears, what do you have in your hand? And I said, the only thing I have, I said it so casually. I said, the only thing I have is my coaching, the fact that I love coaching. And then I said, the youth. Then you said, what can you do with that?
Yeah. Now.
So.
And let me just.
Yes.
One second, let me reset this room because I see a lot of new people have joined. And I wanted to say, I'm speaking to Alice Wandighi. She's my assistant, and she's been doing a fabulous job. She helps me, all the wonderfulness and goodness that I do in Kenya, Alice is helping me with. I have another assistant, Leah Adero, who does the project management, but Alice is the one who goes out and makes the connections with people, and then Leah does the project management, the things that Alice and I don't do a really good job at. So Leah Adero is responsible for that. But Alice and I have been working together for a while, and she was down, and I wanted to make sure that we could lift her up and make sure that she was living within her gift and to her potential. So I cornered her at the art cafe in the middle of our meetings, and I made her cry. And I didn't intend to make you cry, by the way. I didn't go out there today and say, today Alice will cry. I just knew that the tears meant that you were open and you were going deep and you were feeling something. And through that something, I knew that you would come up with the answer for yourself. Because the one thing as a coach, I am not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm actually asking you to choose the life that you want and then design it for yourself. And I knew you could do it because I have always believed in you. And also, you have been validated by Kia Stokes, who's Trinity Stokes' mother, and said that your skill was needed in Hollywood. So I'm just like, it didn't compute, right?
So amazing, yeah.
I said to Alice, let's just to help you tell. Let's go through the story. I said to Alice, I'd been drinking a whole bottle of water, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to the bathroom. When I come back, I want to find a list of the people that you're going to coach. Make a list of the people that you're going to coach." She's like, "The children?" And the answer was yes. So what did you do?
So after I thought about running away because you had gone to the bathroom, I calmed down and said, write a list. And I came up with a list of up to like 20 kids off the top of my head that I knew that would be receptive, that are coachable, and that I could approach their parents with the idea. And then Jean came back from the bathroom and she was like, where's my list of the kids that you're going to coach? And I showed her a list and she said, good. So what's in your hand? You have the coaching skill, you're certified, and you have the kids. So I said, yeah, but the kids don't pay. And then she looked at me and she said, have you asked their parents if they can pay for the service of coaching? Then I said, well, that would be an awkward conversation. I was very uncomfortable because I've never done it before. So it was a very uncomfortable thought.
Yeah.
So after we worked out, because we went back and forth with Jean, and what I love about her is, as she said, everything was she asks a question, I answer it with the solution. But the solution wasn't in me unless it was pulled out of me.
Yeah, I don't have the solution for life. You do.
Yeah. So what was amazing is after I worked out the fact that, okay, I can be brave enough and I can ask the parents to pay for it. Then she said, when? Then I was like, I was thinking maybe if we do June. She said, June? We're in January. You're thinking of starting a class in June? She said, you're starting a class on 6th of February. I freaked out. I didn't know. I was like, this lady is crazy. She's just pushing me. She doesn't know how things work in Kenya. She lives in America. Parents need to be wooed. Parents need to be explained to. She said, find your tribe. That's what she said.
Find your tribe, guys.
She said,
find your tribe.
Mm-hmm. And then, so I wrote the list, and then she said, put a price to it. How much do you think you're worth as a coach? So the number that came into my head, I put it down. She said, okay, you're comfortable with that number? Then I said, yeah. And then I said, but can I push it? 6th February is too early. She said, the next weekend? I was like, which is when? 13th February? I said, okay. In my calendar on my phone, it looked far, far away. I was like, yeah, I can decide. And then she said, okay, we need a flyer by tomorrow morning. I was like, what? She said, yes, we need you to do the advert and send it out by tomorrow morning. One of the things that I decided, I think after the tears, was obey at this point.
I didn't know.
Yes, I said, go into obedience, try it her way, so that when it fails, it's her fault. But then, but then one of the things when I got home with that crazy thought process was, but do you believe in it? Do you believe in what you have come up with?
Yeah.
And I said, yes, I do. Do you have a desire for it? So I went through my book that we had written during my class in Jean's class, which was, I think, the beginning of last year, beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had written in the book was that my definite desire is to coach the youth of Africa. And I was blown away because I had never gone back. I'm sorry, coach. I had never gone back to look at the things that I had written down. And there's a book that we had been commissioned to keep studying because it's a golden book, The Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
I have it in my handbag now. I walk around with it everywhere. I am always studying it. And what it does, it just inspires your spirit every day. There's the Bible that you're reading. Because I'm a Christian, and when I read the Bible, there's an inspiration. It's my food for the day.
Yeah.
And then I read my Think and Grow Rich. I call it my fancy cocktail that I have to have every day. So I have my food and my cocktail.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So that whole conversation led to today.
Exactly. Today, there's one big piece that you haven't told everybody, because remember, we had to come up with a script. You were like, what am I going to say to the parents?
Yes.
This. And guys, here's the deal. You have friends who are interested in your services. They're interested in what you do, but they are your friends. And they might not value your service, Kemuncho. They might not value your service, Pamela. They might not value your service, Joanne. So it is time for you because you're their friend. They've always seen you play around with it. They haven't seen you do it seriously. So the thing is, you've got to switch. You have to switch from friend to client. And that's why I wanted you to say, you need to speak with them. These are not your friends. These are your clients. You need to speak with them as if they are your clients. I had a class yesterday at 9 p.m. I have my Double Your Life class. These are the high achievers who are willing to go far and fast. And when I showed up, I was made up. I had showered. I was made up. I looked good because these are not my friends. These are my clients, and I have to show up from friend to client because I'm here to show my skill. I'm here to show my dream. I'm here to show my desire for transformation. And so when I showed up yesterday and they're like, oh my God, where are you going? I'm going to class. It is 9 p.m. and I will look like this. If you stay on this call until midnight, I will look like this until midnight. And that's what I did. So at midnight, I had to, because these girls wouldn't hang up. They talked. And they're so excited about their transformation. And yesterday was a really big one. You could see that they wanted to stay on and talk and ask each other questions. And that's the beauty of group coaching, because you create mastermind. And when we did that, we wrote your script. And I said, they're not your friends. I coached you to make sure that you are talking to them and introducing yourself no longer as Alice, their friend. You are showing up as Coach Wandighi, because I asked you, what's your name?
Yes. Yes, you kept asking me what's your name as well. And Wandighi. So my full name is Alice Wandighi Mwanyumba. Wandighi is my middle name, which means the one with strength. Very ironical with how I was behaving, but but it means the one with strength. And I've always loved that name for myself, so I adopted the name Coach Wandighi. And yes, Jean is right. We came up with a script on how to sell myself, even to the circles that know me as Alice, as Auntie Alice, as Fan Alice. I had to reintroduce myself, so to speak, to each one of them. What shocked me is the reception that I got, far and near. I have friends who went into a space of, it's about time. How much? And then I had friends who said, my friend's friend has to be in your class. Within 2 days of just talking to a few people, and why Jane has emphasized on the thing about find your tribe. There's some people, my very close friends, who, when I spoke to them about it, they already wanted to change the way I wanted to do things. And I remember going back to Jean as my coach and saying, oh, you know what? In fact, I think I'm going to change this and this and this. And she said to me, why are you changing it? Then I said, I want to make some parents comfortable. She said, they are not your tribe. I needed to take a nap again to think about that, because I said, but they're my friends. And then I realized, yes, I realized that one of the things she's been teaching me for a long time, and she's been teaching a lot of our masterminds, a lot of the coaches that she has, is that the people who are even willing to, people pay attention when they pay, number one, she said. And then she said, the people who are willing to pay you for your services will never question how you want to deliver it.
Yeah.
They will question if it's a service they need or they don't need.
Yep.
And I got statements like, kids are waiting to be coached. Oh my God, it's about time. In Kenya, we have hundreds of, if not a million coaches. We have a lot of coaches that have come up in Kenya in the recent past.
Yeah.
And no one is touching kids yet.
Yeah.
And when the ones who are touching kids, because I know a couple, we do it like I was doing it for free, like a free service. Yes.
Yeah. People pay attention when they pay. That's what Purity says. And you have all this, you have a love fest going on. Coach Wandighi flows. It flows.
Oh.
I love Coach Wandighi. Go, Alice, you've got this. Pauline says, good student, Alice, for going back to coach. Hey, and let me just go ahead and talk to the people in my class. By the way, for those of you in the private Facebook page, I am watching you. And you don't believe it, but I am watching you. And I know those who are working and I know those who are not. I just haven't had time to call you. So be afraid when your phone rings, because it's going to ring. I put you all on the schedule yesterday. Because I want to make sure, where are you with this? We're not playing games. We're here for the transformation of the continent of Africa. And really, 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 for those of you who have been in my class and you're not currently enrolled in a class, do not think that I'm not watching you. You can't slap on lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. If you're not going deep, I can see you and I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, because we are here for the transformation of the African continent. Let me tell you something. My friend and I were in the Java in Kisumu a few years ago, and we were the only two Africans. Me and Caroline Cato were the only two Africans in the entire Java, and Java is like Starbucks. And I remember Caroline walking around the tables asking them, what are you doing here? Because it was odd. We are not even in an A city. Everybody knows about our continent except us. And that is the reason I'm watching you. And that is the reason when Alice was crying, I didn't care. I need kids to be coached. I didn't care. My goal is for the transformation of our continent. That's it. That's it. So, remember that people pay attention when they pay. I learned that from Danielle Leslie. Okay. Yes. So you make sure that they do. And so now you went out and introduced yourself. There are people who are trying to make you into what they want you to be, but it's your job to stay true to yourself.
Correct.
And then what happened?
And then in 3 days, my class was full. So I had this, we made the list. Remember, I talked about 20 kids, and then I said, I can't coach a group of 20 kids. I want to shape it into a coachable group of kids, especially because they're kids. And then we broke it down.
Yeah.
And I know that I have been coaching and I've been speaking to kids from when they're 8 years old. So we said this class that was coming on the 13th, which is today, we said this class, we're going to have age 8 to age 12 in the class. And immediately I got 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds signed up on day 2 of seeing. In fact, I would send the poster and I get, where do I pay? Where am I paying? Tell me where I'm paying. And I was overwhelmed. And one of the people in my I went back to my mastermind in the private Facebook group, and I shared what I was doing. And these women are amazing people. They gassed me up like you would never know. Like they were like, "Go, Alice, you're on the right track." And what's funny is these are strangers who
Yeah.
no one tried to change me. No one tried to tell me, how about you try it this way, make it like this.
Yes.
They just said, go for it. It's about time. What do you need from us? People were saying, if you need me, call me.
Yeah.
Help you, because I've already been mentoring teenagers. So I became it induced a lot of confidence in me to have people who were watching me, and people who are just blowing the wind behind me to say, go fly. And one of the things that I also really really appreciate about you, Jean, is you giving me permission to shine. You just sat back after making me cry and said, go. You just threw me in the deep end and said, go. And I know I have called you, and we were up talking to each other this morning, Kenyan time, at 4 a.m. I don't even know if you've slept today,
I
because you had
know. I really
yeah.
have.
Um, I was up at 4 a.m. The questions between us are you ready for your class? My class was at 9 a.m. this morning. And it was, guys, it was the best class
Tell
ever.
us.
I, I had the best kids. I had receptive kids who checked in even earlier, because the class was starting at 9. When I was logging in at 10 to 9, I had people already in there with their mics and videos off, but you could tell they're in there. So the class started. So one of the things that we are doing in our class is we are doing a study on Trinity's book, Bold and Blessed.
Let me show you.
Yes. There it is. Yes.
Yeah. Trinity, this is Trinity. She's our global goodwill ambassador.
Mhm.
What am I doing? The camera is right here.
Yes.
Trinity Stokes is our global goodwill ambassador for Read Across Africa. She wrote this book, Bold and Blessed, How to Stay True to Yourself and Stand Out from the Crowd. She wrote this book when she was 12 years old.
She's 12 years old.
12 years
And
old.
such a relevant and today book. Anybody who, whatever age, I think you can read that book and get a lot of inspiration. What I loved about Trinity is that when she came to Kenya, she came with a bunch of those books. And a lot of kids, their lives have changed in terms of even inspiration. Just to dream and be tangible with your star, saying, this is the lady I watched on my TV screen, and here she is, and she's studying, and she's my age, and she's so relatable, she's so loving, she's so approachable.
Yes.
So she's done a lot of pointers. So one of the things that I'm doing in the class for the young ones is that we're going through the book together, just to encourage the platform of literacy, in terms of just inputting in them the habit of reading. And then number 2, inside the book, there's a lot of best practices that you're not looking at it that it's that Hollywood star child in America's life. You're looking at it in terms of, because she speaks about a lot of even rejection, what she
Yeah.
went through, how the young ones are going through, because the conversations I have with the kids is bullying, is feeling a lack of love from their peers, from their parents, and some of these conversations even turn into you looking for another intervention, which means maybe you need to now get the parents to do a counseling. So those are things that we recognize, or I recognize when I'm coaching children. But today's class was so amazing, because Trinity herself showed up to the class to say hi to the kids. And I was so wowed. I forgot to take a picture, but you should have seen their faces. They were like, and then calling adults to come. And I'm just seeing people's mothers' faces just coming onto the screen for hi. And then they're pointing at the book, and then they're pointing at the screen. And for me, that was gold. That was gold. She made their day. She made my day. I'm on such a high today. Um, The kids were so excited, and then they got to ask her questions directly about her life, who she is, what she's doing. And then at the end, she also got to give them advice about, she said, so one of the statements I can share with you is, she said to them, at the end of the day, I'm still a kid, so I make time to have fun. At the same time, as much as I'm a star in Disney, when I come home, I have to do my chores and I have to keep my grades high, which is all that actually, it's the 90% of what I want to instill in the kids. The consciousness of, no matter who you are, you have to keep the values that come with family. So my role is, I'm not a teacher to the children. They have teachers. I'm not a parent to the children. They have parents. What I am is, I'm complementing the adult pool in bringing up the kids, so that we get the best out of them. So what we instilled in the kids that I had today is, they now have started dreaming.
Oh, I tell you, it's the best day. I'm so happy. And she's so happy. She was so excited when we asked her to come on your in your class. She said, as soon as COVID, she sent us these voice notes.
Yes.
Trinity calls me and Alice Shangazi, and she's like, yes. I don't believe you went to Kenya without me. She cannot believe that she hasn't been able to go back since 2019. And one of the things that she wants to do is partner with Alice to do these master classes for teenagers. So that's coming. I think in her voicemail, she called it what? The Dream Institute?
Yes, she called it the Dream Institute. She said, I'm so excited you have started the Dream Institute. And I keep wondering, is this girl 14 years old?
Yeah.
She speaks like an adult. She thinks like an adult. But what I realized about her is, as well, the adults around her, be it her parents, be it her relatives, everyone who's been around her as an adult has allowed this young girl to shine.
Yeah.
And that's all we want to do for the young one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I know some of you are wondering, how did you get to know Trinity Stokes? Most people are like, how do you know a Disney star? How do I know a Disney star? Let me give you a secret, guys. If you want to transform your life, you need to start paying to be in places where transformation sits, where the transformers are sitting. I keep telling you guys, I decided in 2015 that I wanted to transform my life. I wanted to leap. And interestingly enough, 2021, my word is leap, because I am now moving to the next level. And I think Purity knows this. I love to say this, the name of Purity's company. I'm moving beyond next level. That's the name of Purity's company. And one of the things I found out is that if you want to make a jump, ordinary people pay to sit at tables. Find a way to pay to sit at someone else's table. It will transform your life. So where did I meet Trinity? I was in Lisa Nichols' class. And one time she had an event and I was on the stage. Trinity saw me and she wanted to speak with me. We didn't get to talk in May. Then she comes to the class in August. And when she gets to the class in August, I'm there. And she's like, oh my God, you are doing work on the African continent. All my life, I have been trying to go to Africa. And I'm like, you are 12. What do you mean by all your life? She says, since I was 3 years old, I have been wanting to go to the African continent. And then she asked me, what country are you from? I said, Kenya. And I'll never forget what she said. She was like, Kenya, where they have all the zebras. Kenya, where all the zebras are. And I was like, yes. And she was like, I have to go with you. And it was hard for me because I was like, I cannot do business with a 12-year-old. That's what I can't do business with a 12-year-old. She asked for my number. She didn't even have a phone. 12 years old. She didn't have a phone. And her mother, she asked her mom for her phone, put my number in there. And the next day her mother called me. And the rest is history. I didn't have the money to get Trinity to Kenya. The money showed up. Find your dream. Live your dream. And the money shows up. Ask Alice Wandighi.
That is very true. That is very true. And then it's so amazing, even the way you're saying this is a girl who was in a class that you'd have thought is just for adults.
Yeah.
And she's already dreaming about something like coming to Kenya. I had a child today in my class say, because I asked them what is a problem that they see in the world that they'd love to solve.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you interact with kids, especially in context of even just the geographical space you're in, you just think that you dream within that geographical space.
Yeah.
So one of the children, she said, I want to go and solve Black Lives Matter. And I said, what? Like, this is something she's thinking about. I don't know if it's influenced from what she has watched. But the thought that children are thinking like that. There's one who said he wants to join World Wrestling Series. I said, what? Like, I thought it would be so generic for, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to make, they were giving specific things. The children who talked about solving environmental issues, the kids who talked about solving pollution issues. I'm talking about 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it's Trinity is such a great inspiration. She's such a great role model. I can't wait to get into the institute, the Dreamed Institute with her. But one of the other things that I learned from you, Jean, is that you said to me once, you keep saying it to me actually, you said, abundance, the statement you always talk about, abundance. And you said you always bask in abundance because God's abundance knows no bounds, you said.
Yeah.
And you said God created, takes abundance from abundance, and abundance remains.
I know. This is what the phrase is. Out of abundance, God took abundance, and abundance remained. Out of abundance, God takes abundance, and abundance remains. And let me tell you how you do it. If you want a visual of abundance, this is what God does. You take a breath like, and there's still more that you can take.
Correct.
Abundance. God takes abundance, and abundance remains. It never gets finished. If you take a breath and you take a breath, you fill your mouth with all the air. There's still more air for us to take. So there's enough for everybody. There's enough to go around, right?
Correct.
I'll never forget what Florence Gishuhi said to you in the group, in our private Facebook page. You said, I'm Africa's teen coach.
Yes.
I'm coaching the next generation of African leaders. And Florence Gishuhi is already doing that in the US. And she said to you, Alice, I'm already doing this. I can help you.
Yes.
She didn't feel like you were competition.
No.
She wrote this whole paragraph of what she can do for you because Florence is in our class. She believes that out of abundance, God created abundance, and abundance remains.
Correct. It has changed my mindset completely when I think like that, because as we said, there's enough of the pie to go around, and people are playing small in their spaces of talent, in their spaces of calling, and in the spaces where they should be doing. What I've realized about what I'm doing now is that kids were waiting.
They were waiting for you.
Yeah.
They were waiting for you. And this is one of the things I learned from Lisa Nichols. She says, you think the world belongs to you, don't you? You really think it belongs to you. People are waiting for you to wake up so that they can live the lives of their dreams. They're waiting for you to wake up so that they can live the lives of their dreams. If
so
you
have what's in your hand?
What's in your hand? What's in your hand? And that was the message for today. Alice and I didn't know how to use StreamYard when we came on. As you can see, I didn't log on. So it says live with StreamYard. It's supposed to say live with Gina Darrow, I think. So we're going to learn how to use StreamYard. And the comments, Alice, you will not believe. I can't wait for you to read this. Everyone has such lovely things to say. And this is your tribe. The people who hang on, a lot of people in your class is Rose Oginga, Kimuntu, Joanne, Lilian, I mean, Purity is on here. Pauline is here. Pauline is here. Terry is here. This is your whole tribe, just beneath your wings. And that's what we've created. The mastermind is a place where we find like-minded women who are doing big things in the world and are coming to a space where they're saying, I no longer want to dance with average. I am no longer a part of this rat race. I'm in my lane. Alice, you are now in your lane. You are no longer in the rat race.
That is correct.
And let me
the
tell
bee has been taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Twice over.
You are no longer in the rat race. You know exactly what you're doing, right? You are releasing cultural shackles, the shackles that say, I need to be employed in order for me to sustain through a terrible economy. That's not our reality. You have to release those shackles that say, this is how it's supposed to be. You are completely out of the box. You can't go back. We will not cry at Art Cafe anymore.
No, unless we are crying about something happy something very happy, not what that feeling. I don't want to ever feel it again.
Yeah. So now you and I have more work to do. We've been planning on working to get Lisa Nichols to Kenya. She asked me 5 years ago to make this happen. I'm still working at it, and I feel so good about it. But one thing, I don't know if you know this, that's Trinity said to Lisa that she's going to be an internationally known speaker. And she said she already did that because she spoke at the International School of Kenya.
Yes,
okay?
She
did.
She said,
I'm already internationally known. But then she also told Lisa that we're going to be on Kenya's stage together. So
I believe it can happen. It is good.
You have fire under your feet because Trinity is relying on you to bring Lisa to Kenya so that she can live her dream.
We'll make it happen. We will make it happen.
You make it happen. Now, guys, I'm so glad you joined us. Can you believe we've been talking for 1 hour?
No way.
Can you believe it?
Wow. Oh. I'm so, that was really nice. And I'm so grateful for everyone who came on. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for being who you are. In life, you need people like you. And I'm glad you're here.
I appreciate, I receive you saying that. And Kemuncha says, this is empowering. Our continent needs more Coach Wandighis. Congratulations, Queen.
Oh, for sure, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Thank you.
Oh, look, Jay is on. Jay DeVille Johnson was our wonderful international photographer when Trinity was in Kenya.
Oh, Jay, hi, Jay. Oh, I like to call him Uncle Jay. Hi, Uncle Jay.
We had a good time. Jay, we were talking about Trinity. We were talking about Trinity being on the class this morning with Alice, and it was amazing. So I hope you can listen to the replay. And Jay was so much fun. We had a good old
time. Fun. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah. Yes.
So guys, I really I wanted this conversation to happen for us because I want you to know that Alice was sitting at the Art Cafe in Karen, wondering where she would get money to pay this person. And within 3 days, she had the way to pay that money. And now it's no longer going to be a problem. Alice is already planning. She had a wait list by the time I was leaving Kenya.
I have a wait list. I have another class starting in March.
Do we know the date? Do we know the date of the next class?
20th of March.
March the 20th, Alice is starting a new class.
The new class. And the age for this class is between 13 and 14. I have one class for that, and I have another class for the same age that I'm doing now, which is between 9 and 12.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just creating the flyers and then I'll send them out.
Yeah. So this is something that you can join. Alice has the books. The books are they're not in textbook center or anything like that. You have to purchase the books from Alice if you have to purchase a book. But the book is a part of the course curriculum in the class. And then who knows? Trinity might surprise the kids again. I don't know. Today was a surprise for them. And
it was an amazing surprise. She's so pleasant. Like, you just look at her, you just want to hug her. She's so pleasant. And she comes in with so much energy. Trinity is a one-of-a-kind child. She is going to succeed in this life. We speak about her here because we are privileged to meet her and know her. But I can't wait to be seeing her on billboards and spaces where we can't imagine, because that's where she's going.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much. I really am so proud of Alice. By the way, this is not unique. Let me tell you, Nancy Masharia and her goal, you will faint when you hear what she's talking about. Rose, you'll be like, what? What is she doing again? Kemunto, all these people are living in purpose, within their purpose. It's not an easy thing. They don't wake up every morning willing, just doing it. They have challenges, like real challenges. Lillian, is here. Lily Ogola doing her thing. Carol Nyaga was on my call until midnight last night. These are people who are just doing it. But I tell you, the money that I have spent on coaching, sitting in spaces with other women, is worth more than what I even get out of it. I can call any one of these 100 women who crossed my world last year, and they'll be there. So figure out, what are you doing with your money? Ask yourself, what are you doing with your money? People say it's too expensive. I'm like, okay, sit over there and pay bills. Sit over there and pay bills, or sit at a table. Pay to sit at a table that opens up doors for you. You know, Alice's sister keeps asking, how do you know these people?
Yeah, she's like, how do you know? At first, she's like, you guys are doing what? Because there's so many spaces that don't make sense. But then now she's seeing this is a testimony on its own to see me move, and to have that support. And even just, I told her the other day, I said, I owe Jean money.
For what?
I can't pay enough. I said, I owe Jean money. I can't pay enough for the things I have learned from her, from how she holds my hand, how she has my back, because that's what you get as well from the mastermind. You have people holding your hand, you have people watching your back. There's people who have gone before you to make it even easier. The networks, people will say, call this number, call this person, go and see this person. I went to deliver something for Jean the other day. And I met this lady, and I think she's a boss at the place where you sent me.
Yes.
And the reception I got, simply because I think she's in a mastermind. She's
class. Yeah, Lillian.
Me being your assistant in Nairobi is so easy, because the platform has opened the door for me. I go into certain spaces, and I've gotten some students in my class because of the mastermind. Yeah. So it's an amazing space to be. It's worth every penny. As I said, I owe you money.
But now you have money, so I'll receive it. And Alice, I love the way you say, I don't have money.
I don't have money. I don't know where money is going to come from. But
I have money, right?
I have money, yes. I have changed my language. Yes.
Yeah, you have money. Yeah, it helps more people. So guys, this has been one of the longest Facebook Lives that I've ever done. With the longest, I mean, the people, the numbers stayed on. Alice, you are extremely interesting. So it is 1 hour and 3 minutes. The next time you and I will know how to use StreamYard.
Yes.
We will have it with so that it doesn't look like we're doing an ad for Streamline. I pay for this stuff. I should not have an ad on my StreamYard.
I know. We learn. We'll figure it out.
So this is cool. I'm going to do a couple of comments before we leave. Susan says, if you want to know how the road ahead is, ask someone who's been on that road. That's cool. That's true. Purity says it helps to know people. And Kemunto said, I paid for a business coach, business boot camp for 6 weeks. It's kicking my behind, but it's worth the sacrifice. Yes.
Wow.
And Joanne says it was awesome. Thanks. And this is going to be, we're going to continue doing this. We're going to continue doing this. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for telling people you couldn't pay your bills. And thank you.
Yes.
It's vulnerable enough.
What's in your hands, guys? That's the lesson.
And one thing, let me just go ahead and say the last thing. Alice is now the quota of Think and Grow Rich. This is her. She pulls it out of her purse and she's like, on page 18, it says.
No, because it works.
You're studying when you keep pulling
up. Yes.
That's how I know you're studying. If you're quiet, I'm like, I'm giving you side eye. I'm like, but my people know that I love them. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Alice, I'm calling you for us to debrief and bask in the glory of February.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone who was on. Thank you, Uncle Jay. I can't see the comments yet, but I love you all. Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a
Means a lot.
wonderful day, everybody.